Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Mitchell Ringos. In the span of 24 hours, there has been 2 serious crashes on the highway involving tractor trailers that have completely shut down traffic in certain areas. We start with a crash on Highway 17 in the area of English River. At 10:30 this morning, the Thunder Bay and Ignace, Ontario Provincial Police detachments were alerted of a collision between 2 tractor trailer units. There is currently no word of any injuries, and authorities are currently working to determine the cause of the accident. OPP technical collision investigators have been called in to assist with the investigation, and OPP say the highway is expected to remain closed for an extended period of time and say they will release more details as they become available. Now, as for the crash on Highway 1117 near Superior Shores Road between a tractor trailer and a passenger vehicle yesterday, information has still not been released about any injuries that may have been sustained as a result of the crash. OPP say the investigation is still ongoing, but the highway is now fully open in both directions. 2 individuals face numerous drug-related charges following a festive ride program. Yesterday at around 2:45 p.m., OPP members conducted a festive ride program on Highway 102 where they observed suspected cannabis readily available to the driver of the motor vehicle. As a result of a search, officers seized a number of suspected illicit substances, including approximately 73 pounds of methamphetamine and 460 grams of cannabis. The seized illicit substances have an estimated street value of approximately $700,000, and as a result, a 49-year-old from Vancouver and a 39-year-old from Calgary were arrested on drug charges. The federal NDP candidate for Thunder Bay Rainy River, Yuksem Wan, spoke this week about the federal government's rollout of the new dental care plan, which is expected to take effect by May of 2024. To implement the public program, the federal government has committed $13 billion over the next 5 years and $4.4 billion annually. The program was lobbied for by the NDP. Starting next week, Canadians over the age of 87 can begin to apply for the new plan, while in June, children under 18 or people with disabilities can also apply. A dentist at Rivercrest Dental, Daryl Blazino, says this new plan is a step in the right direction for keeping Canadians healthier.
What could have been a quick, easy filling turns into a root canal, turns into an abscess, turns into extraction, a cracked tooth, and then just one thing leads to another. You lose more teeth and the other ones start to break down, and it just turns into a snowball effect. So it's something that could really pay off, and not just monetarily for patients, but just better care, better health, and feeling better about themselves.
Dental care is part of that health care that is head to toe that we need to take care of, and that people should be paying with their, the universal health care and not necessarily with a credit card. So we're really hoping that this will have a really big impact on the millions of Canadians that will be able to access it.
For more information or to see who qualifies for the new dental care plan, it can be found on the Government of Canada website. The municipality of Greenstone approved their 2024 budget during this week's council meeting. The municipality is looking at a number of big infrastructure investments and a tax levy increase of 3%. Lee Noonan has the details.
Greenstone Council has approved in principle a $35.3 million budget for 2024. That'll mean a 3% tax levy increase and a roughly 6% increase to water and sewer rates. Mayor Jamie McPherson says the tax hike amounts to a $40 a year increase for an average residential property owner.
You get the whole gamut of satisfied, not satisfied, very satisfied. It's what we need to move forward. Inflation is running 4.8%. So we're coming in with a 3% increase that will also allow us to increase capital spending.
With the commissioning of the Greenstone gold mine, the municipality is expecting its first big tax revenue increase in years, without which the tax levy could have gone up by closer to 5%.
This is huge. The amount that we're getting in 2024 of $270,000 is huge to helping us towards some of our capital work and to also help reduce the increase to the taxes to the residents.
The $8.3 million capital budget and $5.8 million water and sewer budget account for most of the budget increase. Major projects in 2024 include a new water filter for the Long Lac Water Treatment Plant, repainting the water towers in 2 wards, and new ice plants for 2 arenas. Meanwhile, the operating budget was kept at just over $21 million, an increase of less than 1% over 2023.
The crew have looked for tremendous efficiencies, and they've done yeoman's work in getting that and keeping that line item set.
Setting aside reserve funds was also a priority in this budget, with facilities across the Greenstone communities needing replacement or repair over the next decade. The municipality has commissioned an independent asset review and is forecasting big challenges ahead.
In years 4, 5, and 6 from now, when we have some major projects coming, we're going to actually have some money aside and not a huge hit to people when that happens.
The budget is expected to pass at Greenstone's first regular council meeting in January. Lee Noonan, TBT News.
Northern Ontario maple syrup production is at a 5-year low, according to a Stats Can report that shows the production is down 40% from last year. CTV's Corey Nordstrom has more on what this could mean for maple syrup suppliers and buyers.
At Hogan's Homestead, what you see is what you get. The Goulet River maple syrup producers are down to their last 100 liters of product after a bad year across Canada for maple syrup production.
In the last 7 years of, us being in business here, we've never experienced a year like we did this year.
A report from Stats Canada states that maple syrup production across the country was down roughly 40% compared to record highs last year, with the challenges chalked up to poor weather.
It got really warm through the first part of April, and it just didn't freeze. And when it doesn't freeze, you just don't get that. The trees don't reset, and you just don't get more sap. They just stop running. That, and it got warm enough that the quality of the sap got pretty poor pretty fast.
Businesses like Hogan's Homestead are looking to expand in order to offset the slower years, but they know that being at the mercy of Mother Nature is a tough spot to be in.
If I don't have product to sell, that means no revenues coming into the company. And if we don't have those revenues coming in, the expansion is harder. And as an agricultural business, sometimes it's harder to get those, grants or business funding through loans and banks because it is a riskier business.
If you get springs that are above average warmth and you just don't get the frost, you're gonna, if you do that a couple of years in a row, there'll be a lot of businesses that hurt for sure.
Both Hogan and Vine are hopeful that next year's weather sees a bounce back for the maple syrup industry. The two businesses had little to no stock left at the end of 2022 to sustain this down year. Hogan expects that they will be completely out of maple syrup by next month and may have to temporarily close their storefront in the new year until the maples begin production again. Corey Nordstrom, CTV News, Sault Ste. Marie.
The Hill City Kinsmen are bringing back their Sportsman Dream Draw, which last year helped raise over $55,000 for local charities. This year's top prize is a Yamaha G3 14-foot boat and a U4 600 side-by-side, similar to this one. The total package is valued at over $33,000. The second prize is a 1-week family vacation at Wilderness Discovery Center, and the third prize is a $500 Canadian Tire gift card. Dream Draw Chair Gary Prosser says the proceeds this year will help support the George Jeffrey Children's Center, Our Kids Count, and Wilderness Discovery Center.
The reason we picked those three charities is because it really it focuses around kids and community, and because there's so much outreach right now and people trying to get support, being Kinsmen, that's what we do. We want to help step in and do what we can to fundraise and bring awareness to the causes and support the kids in the community. It's teamwork that makes this whole process come together with all the Kinsmen that we have locally, and then the community groups selling tickets as well, and then the people that are making the purchase of the tickets knowing that the money is staying local and what it can do for us.
All 5,000 tickets sold out last year. The Kinsmen are hoping to do the same this year. Tickets can be purchased for $20 at the local Canadian Tire stores, Inner City Power Sports, and through a link on the Hill City Kinsmen's Facebook page. After a 4-year hiatus, kids were once again able to put their mini stick skills to the test as the Lake at Thunderwolves hosted its annual mini sticks tournament. The LU Wolf Den saw 100 kids vying for various prizes and to take home the title of Best Mini Stick Team in Thunder Bay. Jessica Clement has the story.
Mini sticks hockey is a popular tradition for children across the country, And Saturday afternoon, local kids got the chance to compete and put their mini stick skills to the test with the return of the Thunderwolves Mini Sticks tournament.
It's important for our team because it gets the community involved, and it's super important to have the Lakehead Thunderwolves hockey brand associated with minor hockey teams because, as you know, they're a huge part of our local support, and the more that we can grow kids within our hockey programs, it's super important. So this is a nice way to implement them with our hockey team.
Thunderwolves hockey operations manager Cody Anton says this is the first time they've held the tournament since 2019. The tournament had 3 different age groups, 7 to 8, 8 to 9, and 9 to 10. And players of all skill levels were able to join in on the fun. Anton says there was more than just bragging rights on the line.
But yeah, we're giving away some child season tickets, and Pita Pit and Play It Again donated some prizes as well. So yeah, should be a good reward for them.
He adds that it's a nice change of pace for the kids who are nearing the end of the school semester. We spoke to some of the tournament participants about what their favorite part of the day was.
Definitely coming here to play around and have fun.
The last game pretty heated.
It got pretty intense.
Yeah. Probably scoring goals.
I played Tandy, which was super fun. Maybe that is it.
I mean, I already have 4 goals, so yeah, probably playing goalie.
The tournament was in partnership with Pita Pit, who supplied food for the event. Franchise owner PJ Pascalino says they're excited to be back.
It's just nice to kind of get everyone back out. One of my sons in the tournament, and just having that's the main thing that they just love to do is just being, playing mini sticks in their free time. And we didn't know what to expect because it's been a couple years since we did it. So we didn't know how the registration would go, but it seems like it's a great turnout and we have a lot of kids, and hopefully we can build up and make this bigger and bigger going forward.
Jessica Clement, TVT News.
We're now joined by sports anchor Joe Sadowski. I got to say, that story got me in the mood to play some mini sticks, so I made some paper mache ones for us.
Adorable.
We might have to put these up for auction after, and I think later in the show we're going to see who is the best. But first,
You're going down,
we need
buddy.
to talk about the same sport,
Oh, yeah.
but just a little less miniature.
Well, thanks for passing it along to me. We'll get to the Fighting Walleye and the North Stars from last night coming up after the break.
Well, Joe, like we were saying, we had some mini sticks today, but last night we had some bigger hockey with the battle of Highway 1117.
Yes, we did. Bigger hockey indeed. And the Highway 1117 rivalry shifted to Oliver Perpunj for the first time this season as the Cam River Fighting Walleye welcomed the Thunder Bay North Stars to Norwest Arena for the first of a home-and-home series. The Fish were looking to hold on to the top spot in the league standings, while the North Stars were on the hunt for just their second win in their last 7. But once again, the Walleye would get the better of their Thunder Bay rivals.
Mintenko tied up by Weeks. Bryden Bell moving in. This is Duchesne at the circle. He scores! Bryden Duchesne finds the back of the net on the power play.
Braden Duchesne's 11th of the year puts the Walleye up 1-0 in the first period. But then 20 seconds later, North Stars on the counterattack, and that's Bo Helmetzi. He gets the North Stars on the board. The two rivals, they go into the first intermission, tied at 1 apiece. But then jumping midway into the second, a scramble in front of the North Stars net, and Jeremy Dunmore, Johnny on the spot, he buries it. His team-leading 17th goal of the season puts the Walleye up 2-1. Minutes later, Jacob Sargent, the defenseman in the bottom left of your screen there, he throws it on net, and a seeing eye shot gets through the goaltender for his first goal of the season and his first career SIJHL goal. Puts the Fish up 3-1 after 2 periods of play. And then third period, Fish on the attack. Carter Nailing on a breakaway. Nice quick snapshot. Beats Keenan Marks. The first of 3 Walleye goals in the third period. The Walleye have now won 3 of 4 against the North Stars this season as they take Friday's game 6-1, the final. Puck drop for tonight's contest is just after 7:30 at the Fort William Gardens. But now on to some NFL football, where the Minnesota Vikings, they paid a visit to Ohio to battle the Cincinnati Bengals. Nick Mullins getting the nod under center for the first time this season. It is now the 4th starting quarterback the Vikings have had in the last 7. 2 minutes to go in the first quarter, first and goal for the Vikes, and Mullins hands it off to Ty Chandler. He's rumbling his way into the end zone for the touchdown, gives the Vikes a 1-possession lead. Then into the second half now, Mullins barely gets that throw off, but Jordan Addison is wide open, and nobody's catching the NFL's rookie receiving touchdown leader. Addison reels in his 9th of the season, gives the Vikings a 14-3 lead early in the third quarter. But skipping ahead to the fourth, 17-10 Vikings until Joe Mixon bullies his way into the end zone. Mixon's 8th touchdown of the season. That ties things up at 17 for the next drive. Vikings, first and goal. Mullins, he's passing. He's got to escape the pocket. He's rolling right, and then he just chucks up a prayer to guess who? Jordan Addison. What a catch. What a grab from the rookie wide receiver. But this game is far from over. Less than a minute to go. The Bengals, they're marching.
Looking. Pressured, throws it deep, and the ball is caught by T. Higgins at the 1-yard line. And it's actually called a touchdown.
That might be the catch of the year. What a play from T. Higgins. Look how he extends there. The Bengals force overtime, kick the game-winning field goal, and take down the Vikings 27-24, the final. Now, despite the loss, the Vikings still sit in second place in the NFC North with a 7-7 record, while the Minnesota Wild, they had a Western Conference bout this afternoon against the red-hot Vancouver Canucks. 2 minutes left to go in the opening frame, and look at this slick passing. Tick, tack, toe into the back of the net, and that's Freddie Gaudreau. Deflects the Nick Foligno pass behind Casey DeSmith. Wild, they take a 1-goal lead heading into the second period. And just under 4 minutes gone by, Dakota Joshua throws it in front. Teddy Bluger, right place, right time, right in front of the net. He tips it in, ties the game at 1. But later in the second frame, Canucks, they're on the man advantage, and Quinn Hughes just blasts one from the point. And Brock Besser, he took that right off of the leg where there's not a lot of padding there. Besser made it off the ice on his own power, and thankfully he did come back in the third period. And after overtime solved nothing, here's Matt Zuccarello coming in nice and slow. He slides it through the wickets into Smith to take the lead in the shootout. Next shooter, dangerous. Elias Pettersson comes in, goes low blocker, but Philip Gustafsson says not today. Gustafsson, he made 35 saves, and the Wild win 2-1 in the shootout. 12 other games on the NHL slate tonight, but the spotlight is at Scotiabank Arena, where the Pittsburgh Penguins president of hockey ops and former general manager of the Maple Leafs, Kyle Dubas, will be making his return to Toronto. Head coach Sheldon Keefe says Dubas' return is the last thing on his mind ahead of tonight's contest against the Penguins.
Yeah, it's not odd to me, I'll be honest. It's literally the first time that's entered my mind today. We talked about this when we were in Pittsburgh. You don't coach against general managers. We're diving into the video. We're preparing to play against their team. all that other stuff is for you guys to talk about, but it's not on my mind.
Well, obviously, anytime you're up against circumstances like this, there's always a little added incentive to want to play well and be at your best, whether it's a player, a coach, a manager. When you go back and play your former team or things of that nature, there's always just a little added juice to those types of circumstances. So this one's no different. We've already played the Leafs once, so
obviously coming in pretty young age in that position with all the pressure here and in this market, I think where else it's better to learn as a young person in that job. So he handled it great, and obviously they've had some real good teams over the years.
Now we're just 10 days away from the start of one of the most iconic Canadian holiday traditions, the World Junior Hockey Championships. Team Canada are on the hunt for their third consecutive gold medal, which hasn't been done since 2009. With more on Team Canada ahead of the tournament in Sweden, here's TSN's Mark Masters.
Sometimes young centers shift to the wing at the World Juniors. Connor Bedard did it last year. But for now, 17-year-old Macklin Celebrini remains in the middle of a tantalizing Team Canada trio, which also includes Fraser Minton, who played 4 games in the NHL this season, and Jordan Dumais, who leads the CHL in points per game.
I like it. Just kind of puts you in a better position, kind of in the middle of everything. Puts you under the puck, which I like, just come with speed, so I like it. Obviously, I had a little bit of a wing experience at the camp, but I like center.
Min's just such a smart player, and he's got a good frame. He's got some good size. He can kind of get to the net for those guys, work the corners with Celebrini, and then let Dumais do his thing in time and space. So that's where we were thinking there.
I've been a center kind of last 2 years, pretty strictly, and but before that, I was always a winger in Bantam, midget. I played on the wing, so. I feel comfortable at both. Biggest adjustment is you just don't have as much speed off the rush usually. You're a little more flat-footed on the outside and don't have as many options always.
Celebrini and Dumais had a little bit of chemistry in the 2 U-Sport games before Dumais came out. So we figured we'd keep those together.
He does it all. I think I'm a playmaker, and he likes the puck kind of stick, so I think it matched pretty well.
And how does Minton kind of fit in there?
It fits well. I mean, obviously he plays a pro game, and obviously he's really smart on the ice, so I think we all complement each other really well.
Can you give me a defenseman's perspective on how tough that line he's on will be to defend if they stick together, Celebrini and Minton included?
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, me and Tristan tried it a bit in practice today, and they were doing some circles around us a little bit. And no, they're all great players. They're all smart, and they think the game so well. So I think that's what's going to be the hardest to defend.
Coach Alan Letang says Minton can always jump in to take faceoffs if Celebrini struggles at the dot, but for now they like the idea of getting the puck in Celebrini's hands more often, and they're confident that Minton can have success along the walls and get the puck to the middle of the ice. Mark Masters, TSN, Malmo, Sweden.
Mitch, I cannot wait for the World Juniors.
I can't either. It is some of the best hockey you can see. The best. And as for weather, we were waiting for the snow. It did show up today, but there are more warm temperatures on the way. We'll have details after the break. Like we were saying, we saw snow today, but there is some warm temperatures on the way. First, we're going to head straight to the region. Temperatures are getting a little bit colder, and there is a lot of snow and rain in the area. Fort Frances seeing flurries overnight at -4. Greenstone sitting at that 0 mark, seeing some rain as well, and also rain in Sault Ste. Marie at 3, while -7 in Red Lake with just some clouds. Now, as we head over to tomorrow in the region, the temperatures, they are going to get a little bit warmer, especially in Sault Ste. Marie with rain at 6. Greenstone could see a little bit more flurries at 2, while just some clouds in Red Lake and Fort Frances. Now, as we move on, temperatures heading into the next day, we are looking at this hour 4, lots of clouds making their way in. The wind not playing too much of a factor as we head into tonight's conditions. Temperatures dropping only down to 0, so fairly warm overnight. The wind up from the southwest from 7 to 19 kilometers an hour, and it is going to be partly to mostly cloudy. Now, as we head into the rest of the week, like I was saying, some warmer temperatures on the way, and that is tomorrow. We are going to see some flurries in the morning, could turn to some rain over the day, but temperatures are expected to be all the way up to 6, which is way above that seasonal mark. Temperatures dropping down on Monday, getting a little bit colder, down to -5, but averaging out on Tuesday with plenty of sunshine. Temperatures all the way up to 0 with a low of 7. Now, the clouds are going to start to roll in on Wednesday, really sticking around. Temperatures around that seasonal mark of -2, but jumping back up and getting warmer on Thursday. The clouds sticking around, but dropping just a little bit with temperatures all the way up to 2. So some cold conditions, but also warm conditions. Temperatures like we've been seeing going up and down. But as for snow, we're not seeing too much of it heading into next week. Now, I said we'd be back with the hockey sticks. We have them going on right. I don't know how much time we have left, but okay. Someone's got to win.
Someone's got to score.
Oh,
wait, did you just
I
score?
didn't go in. It didn't go in.
Are
It hit
you
the
sure it
post.
didn't go in?
That's a post shot.
Wait, but where'd the puck go?
Under the page.
Oh, it's under the page?
It's
Well,
gone.
it's gone forever. You scored, though. That was
okay.
fantastic.
I already won.
Yes.
I am the best mini sticks player at TBT.
That was not planned.
But when you were a kid, how much did you love mini sticks?
The best part about mini sticks was putting them over the stove so you could get those like crazy curves.
Nice.
Oh,
yes.
those were so much fun. I was a terror for hotel rooms during hockey tournaments. It was bad.
And maybe next year, if they raise the age limits, we can join.
Oh, let's do it.
Thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you next time.